welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin, your empowerment coach, helping you live better, love better, and be better. I am pastor, author, entrepreneur, husband, father, all of those things. And in this series of videos, we are joined again with my lovely wife, my amazing wife, Tarsha.
Yes.
I thought you was going to say hi to him. All right, but anyway.
Hi.
First of all, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button on this. We are talking about Ready to Love, one of our favorite shows.
Yes.
Do reactions and things of that nature to it. But also, Tarsha has her channel. Go ahead and check out her channel, The Prayer Room with Pastor Tarsha. She's just got a whole bunch of prayers out there, more coming on the way. So if you want prayer while you work, while you do whatever, make sure you check out her videos. All right?
All right.
So let's jump into it. We are nearing the end. We're probably... maybe one more full-on episode, and then maybe the reunion. We'll see. We're getting to the end, though, right?
Yeah, but there's something going on. Everybody looking sad.
That trailer,
like there's a funeral or something happened. Like, who broke down?
We'll dig into that. Let us know in the comments what you think is about to happen in the trailer, because that one,
I was like, oh,
there looked like there was some. Tommy had that. I've got to come tell you bad news. But let's get into some other stuff first.
Right.
So in the dates, you had Rashid and Alex, right? That was one of the first dates, because the assignment this week was vulnerability,
right,
and making sure that you open up and at least investigate a little further someone that was your number two.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. And Rashid and Alex went out on a date because she was the number two.
She's been number two, yep.
And just trying to explore and open up. I felt like they had a good date.
Yeah.
But I just didn't feel any real connection there.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, I think, that had they had more time, could have grown. I don't know.
Nah.
I'll be honest. I think if Rashid was going to have success with someone other than Adriana, Simone was that person.
Yeah, I felt that too. I think Alex just got connected too quick to Brian.
Yeah.
And it just kind of went downhill after that. Everybody was like, boo, you take it, huh?
Right.
And so she found herself in a situation where she got out of it, but it didn't set her up for success.
Yeah. And they did have some questions that they were supposed to ask that probably the producers were like, let's ask these questions.
Sure.
And they were good questions.
Good questions.
And Rashid, one of the things that he said that I took notes on, he said he did the work. Which, again, I think that's important for you to grow in anything.
Right.
Whether it's relationships, whether it's spirituality, whether it is just, your emotional health, all of those things. You have to sometimes take stock and do the work. And so I'm really encouraged that there's a lot of folks on the show this year that are like, look, I did the work. I recognize why I'm in the place that I'm in. Why this marriage failed, why I haven't found love. I did the work. So shouts out to them.
Right. And maybe she hasn't, she opens up about being in an abusive relationship. So it's trying to figure out how you work through those things as you're trying to prepare yourself for someone else.
And even she did mention some of the things that she recognized that in some previous relationships kind of opened up. So that's important. All right. And then this was the kind of one that was like, okay, she moved down to number two.
Yeah.
Kalfani and Denice. She kind of dropped in the rankings.
Well, that was a big thing for him, right? And he talked about that previously to really Denice showing her feelings. She called it strong feelings for him, showing that she's fighting for him. Right. But in turn for him, he's like, look, I'm a bodybuilder. I do this for a living. Pretty much I walk around half naked and show my body off. And a lot of women's going to like that. But I need you to trust. Right. I'm coming home to you. Right. And no one else. Right. And so when he was, I applaud him for saying, okay, what I'm scared of is that I'm working and at some point you're not going to trust me. Right. And we're going to have a situation. Right.
He literally said, my insecurity, my fear is that you're going to be insecure with me. Right. Right. And so we were talking, it's like, okay, he is in that bodybuilding competition world, right?
That industry.
And in that industry, yes, there is a lot of folks that are looking at the physical aspects of everyone there, male and female. Right. And so, in this environment that they're in right now, it's understood that everybody's going to be dating a lot of other people, right? So he's saying, if in this environment, you understand that that's what we signed up for, and you're jealous, how much more are you going to be jealous if I'm in a situation where I'm saying I'm committed to you,
right?
And from work or for my training, whatever,
right?
Now you can't trust me because now you're insecure because of any other woman that comes my direction.
Right. You know, she's looking at it from a different perspective, but I think her answer wasn't really as solid as he wanted it to be. Mm-hmm. You know, he's like, she kind of convinced me she didn't, because she's made great strides, right. And he told her, he's like, you've done so much better.
Yes.
You know, but he's still a little leery, like, right.
Yeah,
I might choose the other girl just because you're not secure in who, right. You know, what we have.
Right. And I think we mentioned this before. A man wants to feel wanted.
Right.
We want to feel wanted.
Right.
However,
right.
If I feel suffocated,
right,
that's a turnoff.
Right.
So there is, if you want to call it a fine line, there's a balance there, right? Yeah. Let me know, you appreciate what have you, but don't, where you going? What you doing?
Right.
Especially if I've not given you any reasons to feel that way.
Right, if you haven't given me any reason to feel that way.
All right. And then we had, the next one was Joy and Edwin.
Yes. So Joy and Edwin, I feel like they had a good day, mm-hmm. you know, and Joy keeps making comments, you know, that we hear from the side about Edwin, feeling like Edwin still has some work to do. Mm-hmm. And that's her main concern, right. You know, that he really needs to work through some things, mm-hmm. you know, and I think he kind of hints to that. So they had a decent day, but I think when she circled back around, like maybe the following day, to talk to Edwin, mm-hmm. and see how he was doing. She's mm-hmm. like, so where am I? And, mm-hmm. you know, different things. And he's like, you know, I feel like even if you don't pick me, that I want you to have the best. I right. want the best for you and everything. And it almost like they had this understanding. I felt like they created this great friendship.
I see them as being really good friends.
Really good friends.
Joy seems like she has a lot of good male friends that are secure correct. As male friends, and correct. There's brothers almost,
right?
Because
right.
we saw that with Chris with KG, right?
Right.
They were great friends.
They were great friends.
And so I think Edwin, the outcome of this relationship is really, they'll just be really good friends,
right? And they had this moment like they're tearing up, you know. And I'm like, okay, like they did cut something here, but I felt like the energy they were putting off and what they were sharing was not an intimate moment,
right?
But it was like friends.
It was like a breakthrough moment.
It was a breakthrough moment,
but not romantic breakthrough.
No, it was more of like, I hope you see something that really needs to be worked on,
right? And
you can see his appreciation,
right?
And her appreciating that he's got that aha moment.
Right.
It's like when your friend has the revelation they need to do something.
Right.
And they're like, I'm in agreement and I'm going to do it right away.
Yeah. Because, I mean, one of the things that we've seen is that Edwin, ex-military.
Right.
And so he talks about having suffered from PTSD.
Right. Can't sleep very long.
Right. And a lot of their conversations have been about getting some assistance, getting some therapy, right? What have you.
Yeah.
And so I think that really their breakthrough was, Edwin was like, what I'm just surmising.
Right.
Edwin was like, you helped me recognize where I need to make some adjustments. Because she did say in their date that she's not sure that he's ready for love.
Exactly. You know, and I think I appreciate this. I hate to call it a storyline, but mm-hmm. I appreciate this because, again, it's important for mental health, especially right. with our Black men.
Right.
And our Black women need to speak up and say, you're a great person. Like she was saying, you're a great man. You need to really just work on this mental health thing.
Right.
And not a way to badger him or anything,
mm-mm.
but saying like, you're just missing these one little keys that would be the best resource for you.
Right. That can help open up some of the other things that you're wanting to do. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of not fully opening up.
Jay and Wynter. Woo! You know, what's so funny? People do this all the time, right? Mm-hmm. I go out on a date with you. I want to pique interest, but I'm not interested.
Right.
And so I know he was being nice on their date. You know, they had their date, mm-hmm. and
well, remember at the beginning of the episode, though, they had a moment, Jay and Wynter, where they were in the pool, and I applauded Jay because at the beginning of the episode, he basically is like, you know, we had these conversations mm-hmm. about who will be your number one if Everyone went home tonight.
And she asked.
Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'll be honest, it's joy.
It's joy.
So I at least applaud the fact that he was bold enough, brave enough to, in that moment, say, I appreciate you, but I'm leaning more towards here.
Right. And that's what when we come to the date, and I think, because even her question, okay, so the question in the car for them for being invulnerable is, does she date men that emotionally are not available?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
So she had a very deep question, and she had to say yes. And then he follows up. Do you think I am not emotionally available? Because he isn't.
Right.
He's with Joy.
Yes.
And so she's like, well, yeah, I got to be honest about that. She really didn't. She skated around the part about him being emotionally unavailable.
Right.
But when she asked about the kiss, this is a thing. Well, I'm not going to act. Oh, you want to say something?
I want to say something about that real quick, though. Because also, if you remember I think it was the episode where they had the friends come. Remember, was it, I think it was Joy's friend that said, you come off as a salesman.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So he does a great job of saying what you want to hear.
Right.
And that's what he did with Wynter. He was saying the things that in many respects she wanted to hear until it got to the time for the kiss, right?
Right. Well, but see, that's the thing. It's like at moments he is being the most transparent with her.
Right.
By saying that Joy, so that's a transparent moment.
That's a transparent moment. But then he went right back into really, I think, what is his baseline mode, which is, I'm just going to kind of be that guy who puts my best foot forward without being fully transparent.
Well, because he had to go on a date with the second two. So he tells Joy, like, look, you're my number one, but I got to spend my attention on someone else. Like, I'm like, I get you want to give him a heads up, but you were like feeling really bad about.
Like you was cheating on her.
Right.
Like,
right. Like
you stepped
someone is like bending my arm to go out with this other person.
Right. They're holding me hostage.
They're holding me. Right. So when he goes out, she asks, she's like, but I didn't get a kiss. You never want to compare yourself to another woman.
Don't do that.
I feel like you should have never even asked, because if he doesn't want to kiss you, then he's saying he's not interested, because it would come naturally. It should be organic.
Right. It should have been, because if a guy's feeling you, he's going to at least make the attempt, especially if he feels like, you know what, we're at that stage.
Right.
Now, I'm not just going to be disrespectful and just first date kiss.
Right.
But we've had some interactions. We've had some good conversations, what have you.
And the person's open to it.
So at that point, if he was feeling it, she should have gone for it.
Right.
But to ask for it, then
ask for it, and then he goes, oh, you going to get what you want. And then I'll be like, no, I'm not. Because if I have to ask you to kiss me, you're not kissing me.
And he kissed her.
And then he goes in for the kiss and go, cheek, fooled you. You thought you was getting these lips, but you're not getting no chocolate tonight.
On the cheek.
I'd rather him gave a small peck on the lip. Like a quick peck.
It would, can I even be honest?
It
would have even been better. And it might have been better if he'd even kissed her on the forehead.
Oh, that's worse.
Is it worse? Okay.
Kissing on the forehead is worse. That's like kissing your daughter.
That's true.
That would have been awful. You would have get slapped. That's
true. Wow.
Yeah, that's a slap. Like,
that's a slap.
You gonna slap me? You gonna kiss me?
So is that the equivalent of when a guy gets the tap on the shoulder?
Yeah, like that's pretty much how that is.
All right. So okay. So not the kiss on the forehead. Okay. But the kiss on the cheek was not. That was
Right, because I'm grown and I'm trying to tell you I want you, and then you're gonna come in for a kiss and hit me on my forehead.
They have a romantic evening under the stars.
Under the stars. You done showed me the stars, and you gonna kiss me on my forehead? Right, like she said, brother, please. Wynter ain't no joke.
So I like Wynter.
Wynter's like, you know what? If you don't want none of this goodness, honey, if you don't want this honey, I can take my honey somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, and that's what she did.
That's what
she was put off.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get the reason why she was put off, you know.
Yeah. So then there's a moment with Rashid and Adriana. Yes. It's not a full-on date.
It's not a full-on date.
But it's kind of a check-in on the couch.
Rashid like, look, do you want me or do you not want me? Do you want to be with me?
He's like, look, You are my number one. You are no. And they kiss, and he's like, yeah.
And he wanted a little more. She was like,
So he tells her, you're my number one. And he basically is like, how are you feeling?
Right. And she's like, on my line. And he's like, let me handle that. I was like, okay, Rashid taking care of business.
Rashid trying to be MVP of the season.
He's taking care of business.
He is.
So, and I think like he says, he comes off as have done the work. And I think he is. He's ready to get married.
He's ready.
And he's like, I just waiting to find the right person. And you've come at the right time where we know each other. We come in the same circles. So it's not like he's not losing anything because they're in the same circles, So there's a great opportunity there for them. But he's like, there's other dudes in the way. So I need to know where I am.
And she gives an answer that is very non-committal.
Right. Because she's up in the air. They're really two different people.
Right.
So the question for her, which I don't feel for her, if she knows what she wants yet. I don't know if she knows what she wants in a man yet.
To me, that's where, when I've talked about her immaturity before, that's kind of what I think. I think that she's not sure of what she really wants. I think that, not everyone, but a good number of these other folks have an idea of what they're looking for.
Right.
Because Rashid and Khalfani are they're great guys, both of them, but I think they're on different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of differences between the two of them.
And there are differences where you can see where Rashid, he's been married. So he's been down that road. And so, him owning his own business and saying, okay, I know what I want in a marriage. I know how to be in my marriage.
Right.
But Khalfani, he's still, he's been in the single life.
Right.
He knows what he doesn't want.
Right.
But he's still trying to figure out, how can I navigate where I can find a partner that's going to appreciate for who I am, listen to me, and as I take my journey, be that support that I need, and be there. Yeah. Because I don't know. To me, I feel like he would be something interesting for her, but I don't see her sticking around long term. Yeah. I hate to say that, he might make a good toy, but she doesn't seem like she's going to hold on to that purse long enough.
Yeah, I don't know. And this is not a dig against Khalfani. No. I just don't think that he would hold her attention long term.
Right.
I think it would be great. Let's investigate it. What have you?
Yeah,
and then at some point, she's moved on.
Right.
With Rashid, I at least feel like there could be.
Yeah, there could be
some depth there.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are.
Yeah.
Because that's I think one of the biggest decisions that we're going to have to see is Adriana. I said a couple weeks ago that Adriana kind of the ball is in her court between those two.
Yeah, it's basically her choice.
Yeah.
If I was a friend and she would ask me, I would say go with Rashid. No, again, nothing.
And her friend said that too.
And nothing against Khalfani, but if she's saying I want my sons, I want my family, she would get that. I hate to say faster, but I feel like she would get to the point where that could be a great. It could happen quicker for her.
And from the feel of it, it looks like they're both kind of on that path.
Right.
That it's just be a matter of the paths merging. Right. All right. And then Anthony and Wynter. Now, Anthony was a little slow starter.
He's a little slow, but he's picking up.
Oh, he
Anthony picking it up.
Anthony has high energy.
Yeah.
But in relationships, it didn't look like he had high energy.
Correct.
But that Energizer Bunny energy has picked up on this one.
Yeah, and I think it's just him finding his way. I think he really wants to open a new chapter in his life. Mm-hmm. I feel like me, I call it investigating almost, but listening to a lot of athletes or seeing it from an outside perspective, athletes, when they're locked in to whatever that sport is, they take it to a higher level where a lot of other stuff gets put to a side.
Goes on the back burner.
And with Anthony, wanted to really try to be high level with him playing football.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's at this point, he's like, okay, I'm at this certain age now.
Mm-hmm.
That's not working out for me like I expected to.
Right.
Now I'm kind of ready to find love and that be my new sport.
Right.
Me putting all my effort in it.
Right.
Me really exploring. Because he says again, he's never been in love. I'm like, dude, you never been in love?
Yeah.
So, which for Wynter is like, ooh, can you love? Or, you know.
But he does at least give a better explanation by saying, look, I was in a different way, like we said.
Right.
I used to go by Tony, now I'm Anthony.
Right.
Because I want to make that change. So
he's
at least saying, again, another person that has done some type of work.
Right.
To be introspective and say, okay, where do I make my mistakes? What do I need to do differently?
Right. And moving forward.
And he gives her a kiss.
Oh, he kisses her.
On the lips.
On the lips.
On the lips. Now,
yes,
they did play a little game, so it was part of a bet, and both of them were like, look, if I win, I get a kiss.
Right.
If you win, you get a kiss.
Right.
So it was like either way they was going to kiss.
Either way they were going to kiss.
But he came back after their conversation.
Yes.
And he
kissed her again. So there was a win kiss, and then there was a kiss.
There was a kiss that I'm very interested.
Yes.
So
yes,
I think Anthony kind of really. I think Wynter. I think she's got for her. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of she's coming off the fence now because she was on the fence. She was feeling Jay, but Anthony was there, and Anthony wasn't making his wishes known.
Right.
After this one, it looks like Anthony's like making his wishes known, and that's pulling Wynter, in my opinion, off of that fence.
Yes,
with him, you know,
which I think I'm a little. It seemed a little off chemistry wise for me, you know, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see. All right, so then Tommy's Tavern, they talk about who they are feeling and who they are not feeling.
Yes.
So Edwin, of course, is feeling Joy.
Of course, yeah.
Not really going to go anywhere, in my opinion.
No.
Jay is really feeling Joy.
Correct.
That's
a given.
Anthony says at least he's kind of on the fence between the two.
Wynter and Denice.
But then he kind of leans towards Wynter.
Yep.
Okay, makes sense. Rashid's feeling Adriana.
Correct.
Kalfani's feeling Adriana.
Correct.
Which leaves our two bottom people today.
Denice.
And Alex.
So
Denice again.
Yeah, I if it was me having to keep going to those evening conversations, I would holler at Kalfani like, hey, what do I need to do to tell you
He's told her. He's told her. Time and time again. He's
told her, but I would say, in my opinion, I would make another chance at it. Like, you know what? Let me just really say, I didn't understand how this experience was going to affect me. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted to make myself known that I really like you.
Right.
I apologize that came off so strong.
Right.
To do something I did different. But when we're in the real world, I'm not really like this.
Yeah.
It just took a minute for me to show I didn't have to go that far.
Right. And then Alex, she has the conversation with Kalfani, right?
Yeah.
And so they bring up the fact that, hey, you and Brian were pretty tight from the beginning. So everybody began to view you as Brian's girl.
Right. And again, because all the men thought all the women were beautiful. And so they were like, it's like a buffet. I'm gonna taste not taste, but I'm gonna explore everything that's out on the table. Right, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Kalfani's like, I didn't get a chance to explore. I'm just letting you know this is why you're leaving tonight.
It could have been you and I.
Could have been. You don't know.
So this to me is again a cautionary tale for anyone on this show.
Yes.
Don't get hugged up.
Don't.
Day one.
I look at it like in life, and I feel like I approach my relationships when I get closer as I got older, that I'm not going to be up in the clouds and I'm not going to connect to you quickly.
I just thought about this. In high school, did you all, because we had a couple that in high school, like almost day one of freshman year, they were like, oh, they were in love.
And then they stayed hooked to the hip.
Hooked up. Yeah, and it was just like, oh, nobody, okay, well.
Nah.
And now they're not together. So
okay.
Oh well.
Yeah. But I know, again, for women, we can be so relational, and we want to connect and have this, magic connection.
Right.
And I feel like this is the opportunity that you can be open and say, like, I'm going to do something different.
Right.
And a lot of times we need to do something different. Like, you know what? I am going to date, and I'm just not going to try to get connected quickly. Right.
Yeah. So yes, Alex went home.
Yeah,
I call it the Brian factor. She connected with him way early, and it was a mistake for her, right?
But I think, again, she learned something from that.
Right.
Because maybe that's the guy she normally dates.
Right.
And now she's at a different place, and that's why it didn't feel good. She could see the signs.
Right.
So hopefully,
be something different. We got next week where there's a little break. Again for the holidays, and it comes back in 2 weeks.
Come back with some soap opera story.
So there seems to be some drama.
Something happened. I hope nobody gone.
My guess, it probably has something to do with the coronavirus.
Oh, you think?
My guess is that because someone got sick or tested positive or something like that, something like that nature. Because we were trying to see who they didn't show in the trailer, and we didn't see Calfani in the trailer, and we didn't see
We saw Denice.
I think it was Joy that we didn't see in the trailer.
Yeah, Joy we didn't see.
I think those were the two that we didn't see in the trailer. So interesting. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Let us know in the comments what you think. Those of you that are really internet sleuths, let us know what's happening because
y'all be up there finding stuff on the IG.
Listen,
they're like, y'all better check out this Twitter
because there's a rumor that Brian has a child on the way.
Oh, for real?
So there's a lot of stuff happening that we aren't privy to or we haven't really researched. But let us know in the comments what you think. Again, appreciate you watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we'll see you next time. Be blessed. Have a great one.